What's going on? As something strange unfolded within Forged Blade Thunder Valley, Xiao continued on his way to the Alchemist Association. Yet, with the departure of the soul-sealing talisman, the Blood River Bell within his storage ring emitted an intensely dangerous signal. Be cautious, an extraterritorial evil clan supreme has appeared here. Though it's not their true form, likely just an energy avatar, even an energy avatar alone is enough to wipe out everyone here. The Devourer of Souls sensed the Blood River Bell's ominous fluctuations and spoke gravely, indicating that anything that warranted his seriousness had reached a truly formidable level of power. Understood. Xiao nodded, suppressing his aura and cautiously advancing toward the Alchemist Association. Fortunately, only a few breaths later, the aura of that extraterritorial evil clan's supreme vanished. Otherwise, the Eastern Continent competition in Thunder City might have been prematurely ended. Master, that aura from the extraterritorial evil clan just now? Xiao couldn't resist asking. That was the aura of the Light Demon. The Light Demon has deep ties with the Master of Ferocious Souls. She must have come to exact revenge this time. The Devourer of Souls gave a cryptic smile, then disappeared without a trace. With a helpless sigh, Xiao continued on his way to the Alchemist Association. After a few more minutes of walking, he finally arrived at the association's territory, where a massive structure loomed before him. However, he couldn't help but feel a bit exasperated. Both the auction house and the Alchemist Association were in Thunder City, but one was at the far north, the other at the far south, a considerable distance apart. Alchemist Association. Towering over the grand building's entrance was a plaque with 5 golden, resplendent characters. Quite the display. With just a casual glance, Xiao sensed something off. Embedded in the plaque was a powerful soul aura, a pressure that an outsider might overlook, but Xiao discerned it immediately. Although the Alchemist Association exuded luxury, Xiao perception indicated that not a single soul passed through its main doors, creating an eerie sense of desolation. Let's go. After composing himself, Xiao approached the association's main entrance. Boom, boom, boom. As he stepped onto the platform leading to the entrance, he felt waves of pressure envelop his body, a pressure emanating from soul power that seemed to originate from the plaque above. With a quick movement, Xiao ascended, unfazed. Given his immortal soul power, this level of soul suppression only deterred those without the strength of an immortal soul, not someone like him. Anyone here? Xiao called out as he entered the Alchemist Association. The lavish interior held not a single person, adding to the strange atmosphere. Honored Alchemist, how may I assist you? As Xiao grew slightly frustrated, a graceful figure stepped out from the side, approaching him. He looked up to see a woman in a fitted black professional outfit, her refined demeanor and elegant posture enhanced by her polite, practiced smile. I'd like to have my alchemist rank evaluated, Xiao said without hesitation, suspecting that this woman was likely someone of importance within the Alchemist Association. Ah, an evaluation? Her smile faltered momentarily. She hadn't expected someone to request a rank evaluation, especially in Thunder City, where alchemists usually learned through direct mentorship and rarely sought independent assessment. What? It's not allowed? That's disappointing. Xiao feigned disappointment and turned to leave. Sir, please wait. This is the Alchemist Association. Of course, evaluations are permitted. Which rank are you aiming to be evaluated for? She inquired politely. Immortal rank, grade 4. As for the 3 grades of heaven, earth, and mystery, let's see where my luck takes me, Xiao replied with a faint smile. Excuse me? An evaluation for immortal rank, grade 4? The woman was visibly taken aback. After all, in her role at the association, she had encountered many powerful individuals and understood that an immortal rank, grade 4 alchemist required, at minimum, an immortal level soul. Given that soul power is among the most challenging forces to cultivate, she couldn't help but be impressed by the man standing before her. Please wait a moment, sir. I'll fetch the vice president. She hurried off to the inner chambers of the association, clearly not wanting to delay. Let's see what tier of immortal rank, grade 4 I can achieve this time, Xiao thought as he waited calmly. Master, during my trip to the auction house to purchase medicinal ingredients, I encountered someone with terrifying soul power. It seems they've already reached the immortal realm, said a young man, his voice low as he conversed with another figure inside a quiet wooden cabin within the Alchemist Association. One of the figures was the man who had clashed with Xiao at the entrance of the auction house. The other was an elderly man with a head full of white hair, his complexion glowing with vitality. An aura that was both faint and chilling emanated from him, making anyone in his presence feel uneasy. With the Eastern Continent competition taking place recently, powerful figures are emerging one after another. Be cautious, the elder advised calmly. Understood, the man nodded lightly. Soon, the sound of knocking echoed through the cabin. A graceful figure had arrived at the inner chamber and gently knocked on the door. It's Sister Wang. I wonder why she's here. The man recognized the visitor from the sound of the knock. Sister Wang, whose full name was Wang Fengcheng, resided in the Thunder City branch of the Alchemist Association. She handled guest receptions and was well-liked by the association members. Vice President, Sister Wang greeted respectfully. Inside the cabin were two individuals. One was Tan Chun, the current vice president of the Alchemist Association. He possessed the strength of an early 4-star Docian and held the dual identity of a 5th-grade immortal rank Earth-level alchemist. This dual status granted him significant influence in Thunder City. The other man, Hua Fei, was Tan Chen's disciple. A late 2-star Docian, Hua Fei had recently attained the level of a 4th-grade immortal rank profound alchemist and was also a formidable expert. Sister Wang, what's the matter? Hua Fei asked first. Vice President, there's a man at the association, Sister Wang replied respectfully. He wishes to have his alchemist rank certified. Certification? It's been a while since we've had something this lively. I wonder what rank he's aiming to certify. Tan Chen remarked with a faint smile. As the three conversed, a series of cracking sounds echoed from the direction of the association hall. Master! Hua Fei frowned, clearly concerned about the commotion coming from the hall. Let's go take a look. Tan Chen got up and walked briskly toward the hall, the other two following closely behind. Trouble, Xiao muttered under his breath. He had been standing silently in the hall, but now cursed inwardly as he heard the cracking sounds. He realized the commotion was caused by his use of soul power to contend with the pressure emanating from a plaque. While he managed to gain the upper hand, the plaque itself had developed several rare cracks. A 5th-grade immortal rank alchemist's soul pressure imbued into a plaque, yet it was so fragile? Xiao murmured with a touch of exasperation. His actions were guided by the Devourer of Souls, who had told him that the plaque's soul pressure could stimulate his own soul power. Well, it's not that simple. After all, it's just a plaque and can only hold so much soul power. The Devourer of Souls chuckled. Moments later, Tan Chen arrived at the hall with Hua Fei and Sister Wang. Tan Chen greeted Xiao with a hearty laugh. Hee, I'm Tan Chen, Vice President of the Alchemist Association. You must be the one looking to certify your alchemist rank. Xiao immediately recognized Hua Fei among the trio. He lowered his voice, muttering to himself, so, it's him. His soul power must have reached the immortal realm, and he's likely an immortal rank alchemist. Greetings, Senior Tan Chen. Xiao addressed the elder politely. I've just recently achieved soul power at the immortal realm and wish to attempt certification as an immortal rank alchemist. Hee, your soul power doesn't seem like it's just reached the immortal realm, Tan Chen said with a knowing smile. His eyes flickered toward the plaque, where the cracks were evident. He then turned to Hua Fei. Master, this person is formidable, but I feel like I've seen him somewhere before, Hua Fei whispered to Tan Chen, furrowing his brow as he tried to recall. Do you have a token from your master? In the next moment, Tan Chen completely ignored his disciple's voice and smiled as he asked Xiao. It was no wonder Tan Chen acted this way. The fact that Xiao had shattered the soul pressure on the plaque was enough to show that his soul power was far beyond what one would expect from someone merely entering the immortal realm. It was likely that his soul power surpassed even that, and his immense soul strength, coupled with his age, was enough to make Tan Chen take him seriously. A token from my master? Xiao was momentarily stunned before his expression turned strange. Clearly, this was something he didn't have. It occurred to him that perhaps in Thunder City, one could not be assessed for alchemist rank without such a token or guidance from a renowned master. No. My master instructed me not to reveal any information about him before leaving, so I apologize, Xiao said with a hint of regret. It's fine, Tianxin replied with a smile, though his curiosity about Xiao deepened. Entering the Alchemist Association for the rank assessment and other matters didn't require such a token. However, Tianxin was genuinely curious about who could have mentored Xiao to produce such an exceptional disciple. Given his overwhelming soul power and youth, the one who could have guided him must surely be an extraordinary expert. There's less than a month until the Eastern Continent competition begins. I wonder if I can still make it if I participate in the rank assessment. Xiao asked with concern. Don't worry, the assessment takes place in a different space, specially designed for such tests. Time flows more slowly there, so you'll have plenty of time to complete it, Tianxin reassured him with a smile. Then, thank you, Senior, Xiao said, clasping his hands together in thanks. Don't mention it. Hua Fei, the two of you go and prepare for the 4th rank Immortal Class Alchemist assessment, Tianxin said with a smile. What level do we need to prepare for? Hua Fei asked. 4th rank Immortal Class, Sky Grade and Earth Grade, Tianxin said confidently. Sky Grade and Earth Grade? Hua Fei was visibly shaken. Even with his current strength as a late 2-star Docian, and his soul power just reaching the immortal realm, he could only hope to be a 4th rank Immortal Class Alchemist at best, and even then, the failure rate when refining pills would be high. But Xiao, with his early 2-star Docian strength, was attempting to take an assessment for a higher alchemist rank than even Hua Fei. This greatly surprised him. It was well known that the rank of an alchemist was closely tied to one's soul power. However, refining pills was a prolonged battle that consumed a lot of Do Qi, so higher-level alchemists were undoubtedly powerful individuals in their own right. Understood, Wang Jie and Hua Fei said, nodding respectfully before stepping back. Sky Grade and Earth Grade, Senior Tan? You really think highly of me, Xiao chuckled with a shake of his head. At this point, his soul strength was indeed beyond the threshold for the immortal realm, and Xiao was confident that passing the 4th rank Immortal Class Mystic Grade assessment would be no problem. However, the Earth Grade would be more challenging. His Do Qi was still too weak, and that would make refining pills much more difficult. My disciple has already gone to prepare the assessment materials. Please, wait for a moment, young friend, Tianxin said with a smile. No problem, Xiao nodded lightly, not in a rush. Are you also participating in the Eastern Continent competition, little fellow? Tianxin finally couldn't resist asking. Sort of, Xiao replied casually. My goal is to win the Eastern Continent's championship this time, Xiao said without hesitation. Heh, with such strong soul power and Do Qi reserves, winning the championship will be no problem, Tianxin said with a knowing smile. Senior, I'm sure you know the specifics of this Eastern Continent competition, right? Xiao asked with a smile. I do know, but let's talk about that after you pass the assessment, Tianxin replied. To be honest, I'm a bit excited. Don't disappoint me. Tianxin's gaze grew intense, his anticipation evident. Xiao too felt a sense of excitement. He was curious to see how the 4th rank Immortal Class Alchemist assessment would unfold. Teacher, the assessment is ready, came a respectful voice from behind. It was Hua Fei, returning after a short while, though Xiao could clearly sense an unfamiliar aura emanating from him. It was a powerful, almost ethereal presence, like nothing he had felt before. Let's go, little fellow. Tianxin nodded slowly, his smile unchanged. All right, but I'm curious. Where is the assessment taking place? Xiao asked. Refining pills and taking an alchemist assessment were serious matters. If they were disturbed, it could lead to disastrous results. Based on Xiao's understanding, it seemed that the Alchemist Association didn't have a designated space for such assessments. Heh. This is Thunder City, the capital of the entire Eastern Continent, and as for our Alchemist Association, in order to prevent any interruptions from outsiders and unexpected incidents, our predecessors have already come up with countermeasures. Tianxin smiled slowly, then began to move. As soon as Xiao's words fell, before he could even open his eyes, he suddenly felt an intense spatial force erupting from Tan Chen's body, which then turned into a streak of light, completely enveloping the three of them. In the next moment, they directly left the Alchemist Association and headed towards some mysterious location. This is where you will be tested to become a 4th-rank Immortal Class Alchemist. After a few breaths, Tan Chen, along with his disciple Hua Fei and Xiao Yin, arrived at a void space. This void was quite strange. There was not a trace of heavenly or earthly energy. As soon as they arrived, Xiao Yin immediately sensed that the flow of spatial power here was significantly slower than outside. With such a treasure, Xiao Yin was not worried about the assessment delaying the Eastern Continent competition. This guy. Hua Fei shook his head helplessly upon seeing this, knowing that his master was the second-best alchemist in Thunder City. Normally cold and indifferent to outsiders, his master was almost emotionless. Yet, when it came to Xiao Yin, he was so warm and welcoming. Hua Fei couldn't help but feel a bit envious of Xiao Yin. After all, Hua Fei understood his master's pride. If one wanted his master to lower his head, the only way was to be even better than him. This place is truly an impressive space, Xiao Yin muttered, his gaze sweeping around as he was amazed by certain aspects of the void. At this moment, the three of them stood in the middle of the void, facing a colossal object that slowly stood before them. The massive object resembled a giant alchemy cauldron, complete with vents, and an invisible, extremely powerful soul force completely enveloped it, preventing anyone from getting near. Such a massive alchemy structure, hidden in the void, could only be managed by an alchemist with wealth and power that could rival a nation. This is the true headquarters of our Alchemist Association. The outside is just for dealing with some small fry, Tan Chen explained. With a slight wave of his hand, a powerful pulling force drew the three of them inside. Vice President, the 4th-rank Immortal Class Alchemist assessment is ready. As soon as they entered the structure that resembled an alchemy cauldron, Wang Jie's voice came from within. Thank you, Tan Chen said, then led everyone toward the assessment area. It must be said that this alchemist headquarters, which resembled an alchemy cauldron, had an incredibly complex internal structure filled with layers of powerful soul forces. The sound of explosions could be heard from time to time, most likely caused by alchemists refining pills. Here we are. Not long after, under Tan Chen's lead, the four of them walked through several pathways and arrived in front of a stone door. The door was tightly closed, and there seemed to be a powerful force being suppressed inside. Surrounding the door were countless massive forces, all carefully guarding it. This is your first step of the assessment. Soul power. Tan Chen gently pointed at the stone door, his lips moving. As everyone knew, alchemists were a special profession capable of creating miraculous pills, but the higher the rank, the greater the energy they could wield. Although Tan Chen was a 5th-rank Immortal Class Alchemist, even the current leader of Forged Blade Thunder Valley had to show respect to him. After all, every alchemist was like a hornet's nest. Poke it, and it would explode. How is this first step tested? Xiao Yin asked, his gaze slightly dazed as he looked at the stone door. He could already sense a heavy pressure emanating from within, though he was still puzzled and asked for clarification. The necessary condition for an Immortal Class Alchemist assessment is to have soul power that reaches the Immortal Realm. Although your soul power has already reached the Immortal Realm, the Alchemist level you were previously assessed at was only Emperor Grade 1. Therefore, this step is crucial, Tan Chen explained. Master, you really are biased. Hua Fei couldn't help but mutter under his breath. He had also experienced similar situations with Xiao Yin, but it was nowhere near as special as this. The Alchemist rank assessments had to be done step by step from Emperor Grade 1, 2, and 3. However, Tan Chen had directly skipped those steps for Xiao Yin, allowing him to undergo the 4th-rank assessment. Although Xiao Yin indeed had the strength, Hua Fei still felt a bit envious. Inside, there is a soul beast formed from soul power. Once you enter, defeat it to prove your soul power, Tan Chen said with a smile. Okay, Xiao Yin replied, nodding lightly. Does this align with what you envisioned? However, Hua Fei clearly had no idea that Xiao Yin possessed the ghost-faced soul flame, which happened to suppress a significant portion of soul power. Angered by the provocation of the Devourer of Souls, The soul beast became like a machine, continuously channeling its soul power to temper Xiao Yan's soul. As a result, it took a full 100 days. Master, that Xiao Yan has been inside for 100 days and still hasn't come out? Hua Fei hurriedly left the stone gate and ran to his master. It seems he has likely seen through the soul beast's deception, and he probably has some impressive methods. Let's go. He should be coming out soon. Tanchen didn't appear overly surprised. After all, someone capable of withstanding the soul pressure on the Alchemist Association's main plaque, if they couldn't even pass the first trial, would indeed be a joke. Huff, huff, huff. Almost there. Inside the stone gate, the space surrounding Xiao Yan had grown calm. His complexion was steady, but his aura had become even more formidable than when he first entered. At this moment, the second layer of Xiao Yan's soul palace within his soul sea was now fully radiant. Although the brilliance wasn't dazzling, it was genuine and complete, symbolizing that Xiao Yan's soul power had made a breakthrough during these 100 days. Before, Xiao Yan's soul power was at the immortal soul level. After stepping into the immortal soul realm, the next stage was the early phase of the Great Void realm. The immortal soul realm has 3 major tiers and 9 sublevels, corresponding to the 9 layers of the soul palace within the soul sea. The first layer corresponds to the early stage of the Great Void realm, while the second layer aligns with the mid stage. Don't underestimate the gap between the early and mid stages. The difference is not trivial. To put it simply, a mid-stage, Great Void realm soul expert could easily match the strength of 3 early-stage counterparts. The disparity in strength was evident. Let's go. Xiao Yan looked at the now feeble and transparent soul beast, released a strand of soul power to nourish it, and then leaped away, leaving the space in an instant. Xiao Yan, my friend, congratulations on breaking the record of our Alchemist Association, came Tanshin's gratified voice as Xiao Yan emerged from the stone gate. 100 days. Although I don't want to admit it, you're the first person I genuinely admire, Hua Fei admitted, no longer harboring a competitive spirit. Your soul power seems different from when you first entered. Xiao Yan hadn't had a chance to speak before Tanshin's voice sounded again. Remarkable. You've actually made a breakthrough. Mid-stage, Great Void, Realm Soul Power. Tanshin immediately discerned Xiao Yan's current state and commented, "What? Mid-stage, Great Void Realm?" Hua Fei couldn't help but swallow nervously upon hearing that. After the Immortal Soul level, the construction of the 9 layers of the Soul Palace is required. Only when all 9 layers are completed can one truly step into the Immortal Soul realm. Hua Fei, however, had only just completed constructing the 9 layers and hadn't lit them up, making him, strictly speaking, a quasi-immortal soul expert. Xiao Yan, on the other hand, had advanced nearly 2 levels higher than him in soul power. This left Hua Fei slightly astonished. In their entire Alchemist Association, there were only a handful of people who had reached the Great Void realm, most of whom were advanced in age. Among the younger generation, Hua Fei was the sole representative. Even his master, Tanshin, the association's vice president, had just stepped into the transformation of essence realm. Yet, Xiao Yan, so young, had already reached such a stage. With time, he would undoubtedly surpass Tanshin himself. It was just luck. Xiao Yan scratched his head awkwardly. If not for the soul beast absorbing so much soul power from previous challengers, combined with the help of his ghost-faced soul flame, he wouldn't have had this opportunity. Sigh, forget it. Since you're here to undergo the assessment, you're one of us now. No objections, right? Tanshin, being a shrewd old fox, saw Xiao Yan's extraordinary potential in just the first trial and immediately extended an olive branch. Of course, Xiao Yan replied with a light nod. The Alchemist Association was an immensely powerful organization, and not everyone could depend on such a formidable backer. Since Tanshin was willing to build rapport, Xiao Yan gladly went along with it. Next, we'll proceed to the second trial, Tanshin announced with a slight smile, his tone carrying a hint of expectation. Refining pills. After all, immense soul power was merely a prerequisite for high-level alchemists. As someone who held a high position, Tanshin had seen countless individuals with vast soul power fail to refine pills properly. Xiao Yan, don't say I didn't warn you. My master rarely gets this happy. You've already broken the record for the first trial. Even if you choose the simplest prescription for the second trial, it shouldn't be a problem. As long as you successfully pass the assessment, you'll be regarded as the finest alchemist in our Alchemist Association. Hua Fei secretly transmitted a message to Xiao Yin using his soul power. Let's proceed to the second trial, Tianshun said without further delay. With a wave of his sleeve, the scenery around the three of them instantly shifted, eliminating the need to walk. Tiske, such grandeur. Truly the handiwork of a transformation of essence-level soul power, Xiao Yin exclaimed in amazement. In just a few breaths, the trio arrived at the alchemy room, the site for the second trial. In the blink of an eye, they found themselves in an unfamiliar location. The area was incredibly spacious, with massive alchemical cauldrons lined up side by side, evidently arranged specifically for the trial. This is the site for the second trial. Shortly, 3 prescriptions will be presented to you, categorized into the 3 grades of immortal rank 4th grade, Heaven, Earth, and Mystery. You need only select the prescription you feel most confident about, successfully refine it, and you'll pass the trial, officially becoming an immortal rank alchemist. But be warned, refining pills as an immortal rank 4th grade alchemist consumes far more soul power and do qi than at the emperor grade. Even the immortal pill tribulation is many times more formidable than the pill thunder tribulation of emperor grade pills. Prepare yourself, Tianshun said gravely. I understand. Xiao Yin nodded firmly. Pill refining had been his solitary pursuit since leaving Do Qi continent and his teacher Yao Lao's guidance. Everything about this was novel and imposing for him. A sequence of clack, clack, clack sounds echoed as a row of stone pillars slowly rose from the floor of the alchemy room. Before Xiao Yin, 3 silver scrolls lay quietly atop the stone pillars, each protected by robust shields of light. The complexity of the defenses indicated the value the Alchemist Association placed on these immortal rank prescriptions. Earth attribute techniques, huh? Xiao Yin muttered as he observed the stone pillars' activation, recognizing them as being controlled by Earth attribute Do techniques rather than being automated. The 3 prescriptions are here. Choose one and begin, Tianshun instructed. All right, Xiao Yin nodded slightly and turned his gaze to the 3 stone pillars. The first prescription he examined was the weakest among them. The profound level 4th rank immortal pill, heart restoration pill. This pill possessed extraordinary detoxifying properties and was highly effective against poison-related ailments. This is too weak, Xiao Yin remarked before turning away. Having broken through in soul power during the first trial, his alchemical prowess had significantly improved. Only an Earth level 4th rank prescription would suffice. Earth level 4th rank, Xiao Yin mused as he moved toward the second stone pillar. Amplification pill. This pill, called the amplification pill, boosts the user's power by half for an hour. The concise description struck a chord with Xiao Yin, who found the pill intriguing. Given Xiao Yan's immense soul power and the formidable sacred flame he wielded, his Do Qi alone was somewhat lacking. With the amplification pill, his combat capabilities could rise considerably, making it much more practical than the heart restoration pill. Still, let's check the first stone pillar before deciding, Xiao Yin muttered, restraining his eagerness. This is the heavenly level 4th rank immortal spirit pill prescription? Xiao Yin was stunned as he focused his gaze and soul power on the first stone pillar. A wave of astonishment surged through him. What was the immortal spirit pill? It was a divine pill for Do Qi recovery, the strongest of its kind below the 4-star Do Xian level. Its immense value made it incredibly costly, and its prescription was even rarer. Encountering such a treasure during his trial to become an immortal rank alchemist left Xiao Yin momentarily speechless. Master this? Hua Fei, standing nearby, was at a loss for words. The earth and profound prescriptions were identical to what he had faced in his trial, but the change in the heavenly prescription caught him off guard. Quiet down. Watching his disciples' excitement, Tianshun remained composed, his gaze fixed on Xiao Yan's actions. Master, that's quite an abuse of power. Hua Fei muttered inwardly, slightly dissatisfied. Clearly, the value of the immortal spirit pill's recipe was immeasurable and beyond monetary value. Yet Xiao Yin was able to obtain it simply through an assessment. This left Hua Fei feeling quite disheartened. I choose this one. The next moment, Xiao Yin unleashed a surge of radiant soul power, directing it toward the first stone pillar. In an instant, the protective barrier was shattered, and he grasped the recipe for the immortal spirit pill. Though the recipe was merely an inscription, its value was truly priceless. Impressive courage, kid. However, this thing isn't so easy to refine. Tianchen smirked, as if Xiao Yan's actions were all within his calculations. Senior, I am confident in my alchemy skills. Xiao Yan grinned. Though this pill was a 4th-grade immortal rank pill of heavenly difficulty, he still had considerable confidence. If you're ready, then let us begin. Tianchen smiled faintly and spoke. Understood. Xiao Yan nodded lightly, then sat cross-legged. He adjusted his breathing to its peak before carefully studying the recipe for the immortal spirit pill. Immortal spirit pill. When consumed during battle, it can restore up to 80% of Do Qi almost instantly. However, note that it can only be used once a month. Overuse will lead to resistance, rendering it ineffective in the future. Ingredients: withered soul source branch, ice heart jade marrow, and soul devouring stone. As Xiao Yin infused his soul power into the recipe, a series of calm and steady voices emerged. Soul devouring stone? No wonder the immortal spirit pill can restore so much Do Qi so quickly. It's because of this. Xiao Yin suddenly understood. The soul-devouring stone was a unique item capable of storing Do Qi. Despite its small size, only about as large as a palm, it could contain an immense amount of power, even enough for a Do Xian expert. Here, you'll find materials for 3 attempts. So, you have 3 chances and 200 days. If you fail all 3 attempts or exceed 200 days, it will be considered a failure. Tianchen gestured lightly toward the recipe Xiao Yin held. Instantly, a plain storage ring emerged from the recipe and floated into Xiao Yan's hand. Thank you, Senior. Xiao Yin accepted the ring and expressed his gratitude respectfully. He then approached a massive alchemy cauldron before him, a weight slowly settling in his heart. Let's do this. Time to give it my all. A 4th-grade immortal rank alchemist? If I succeed, the results could be astonishing.